8 rum. What's your number? Drink responsibly.
The Rotary Clubs in Grenada introduce the Good Neighbor Initiative, a program designed to assist individuals and families who require short-term assistance with electricity bill payment and the cost associated with rewiring of homes due to fires and natural disasters. Applicants will be able to receive bill payments of a maximum of $250 per household for 3 months. This initiative will benefit the elderly, families with children preparing for exit exams, and families with members who are temporarily unemployed or have reduced working hours as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. If you or someone you know is in need of help, please visit our website at www.goodneighborinitiative.org and connect with a recommender today. The Good Neighbor Initiative, helping individuals and families with short-term electricity bill payments and electrical wiring, one neighbor at a time.
It will be a showdown between the Spice and the Reggae when the senior women's national team hosts Jamaica Reggae Girls on Sunday, February 20th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium in the CONCACAF Women's Qualifiers Road to Australia and New Zealand. Kickoff time 5 p.m. Get your early bird tickets now for just $20 at the GFA headquarters at the Queen's Spa. All COVID-19 protocols will be in full effect and patrons must be fully vaccinated to enter the venue. Grenada versus Jamaica, CONCACAF Women's Qualifiers, Sunday, February 20th, 5 p.m. The Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Come, let's support the Spice Girls.
Your vehicle insurance should never break your bank. With Beacon, you can get up to 35% off your fully comprehensive car insurance and still get full protection from unexpected damages with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. When it comes to your insurance, always be sure you settle for more. Call us at 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt and get a quote today.
Good evening and welcome to the MTV Evening News for Thursday, 17th February 2022. In the headlines, Catholic Bishop calls on religious leaders to play a more active role on the community level. Mixed reaction from the public on the first 7 candidates announced by the National Democratic Congress. Cabinet to discuss how $30 million grant given to government will be spent. And in sports, disappointing start for Spice Girls in CONCACAF Women's Qualifiers match. We have the details of these and more after the break.
How did you get your electricity bill to be so low? For one, we size our transformers just for what we need, and we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LEDs. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in.
How do you know if it is working?
We pay attention to the usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
Grenlink, energizing our Grenada.
The first segment of MTV News is brought to you in association with GUT Cooperative Credit Union. It's where you belong.
In an effort to serve you better, GUT Credit Union has moved its Grandans branch from the Lamaki complex to the Excel Plaza. This new location provides more convenient parking with access from 2 entrances. The first is from the lower parking area and the second is at the top parking area on the same level as our office for easy walk-in access. Visit GUT Credit Union at our new location and experience the comfortable atmosphere with the enhanced member experience you have come to expect of us. Our Grandans office is open 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. We hope to see you soon. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
All concerned are hereby advised that all branches of the GUT Cooperative Credit Union will be closed at 12 noon on Wednesday, 16th January 2022 to facilitate a general staff meeting. Management apologizes for any inconvenience this closure may cause.
With the news in detail, I am Troy Gill. Head of the Catholic Church is calling on religious leaders to go forth in the community and counsel those who are mentally challenged. Bishop Clyde Harvey made the appeal during his television broadcast this week as he reflected on last weekend's brutal killing in Pearl's St. Andrew.
Catholic Bishop Clyde Harvey says mental health may have been a factor in last weekend's killing. However, the church has a responsibility to help in situations like these. His comments came as 27-year-old Kelly Daniel, who reportedly suffers from mental illness, was charged with non-capital murder after he had allegedly mutilated Guyanese national John Merchant early Saturday morning.
Brutal dismemberment of a gentleman and the supposed assailant. People are saying that they knew him, they never knew him to be this kind of a person, and so on and so on. I did some research with the help of our staff here, and there have been at least 2 other incidents like that over recent years, where all of a sudden a murder takes place that is quite brutal. Now, when you tell me that somebody's a nice, kind, and loving person, and then all of a sudden they commit that, I don't believe that is all of a sudden.
Bishop Harvey believes being observant members can intervene and assist those affected in the community.
You don't want people to begin, you don't want the family to begin to feel guilty, the family of the accused to feel guilty about this or that or the other. But Catholics have to help the nation to guard against one thing, and that is to be perceptive in our discernment of what is really going on. There are some situations in which it's a clear breakdown in the mental health of a person, and if it's a breakdown in an individual's mental health, it is a breakdown in the capacity of a community to help the individual to deal with whatever problems he or she may have.
The bishop disclosed that for the next couple of weeks, the church intends to look deeper into Saturday's incident.
Make no bones about this, the church has a role to play in that, and it's a role which is very difficult. The role of discernment and, where necessary, exorcism. Is it that we are doing things in our Grenadian society which are leaving room for the evil one to lay claim on human beings and to destroy not only their lives but the lives of others in ways that traditionally the church has seen? There are some who want to write off the reality of evil simply because psychiatry seems to know so much. But when you meet a good psychiatrist, good psychiatry admits that there is a point at which even psychiatry can't provide an answer.
Nikita Houston, MTV News.
The 7 candidates announced by the National Democratic Congress are creating a buzz, and people are expressing themselves about the selected few so far. MTV took its cameras to the streets and spoke to people who shared their opinions.
We need young people to run the show right now. But I mean, when you go there, you have to know what you're about and don't make yourself a puppet show in the front of the public. And I hope for a brighter future for them.
Going forward, I believe that's a good thing, especially as each generation is supposed to bring something new to the table. So with these group of youngsters to the politics shares, it'll be a good thing. And plus, within that generation, they see what happened with the older generation and what's happening going forward. So I think they'll bring something new, and hopefully it's betterment.
I feel like in life, people need to change in life sometimes and give, other people a chance, because sometimes okay, I don't say in the NMP or whatever, but sometimes different governments, sometimes you could come out to be something good or something. Give them a next chance. Give them a chance, please.
But we get a good leader, and the woman in tongue, she will do good, and the young people will do good.
Yeah, concerning the young candidates for the NDC, representing the NDC party, I want to say that, I mean, maybe they didn't have a whole wealth of experience, but I'm still hoping for the best for them.
I don't know them that per se, you know, but the few words I heard from one or two of them, they spoke very well, which I hope, if I'm saying I want them to get through, neither don't get through. I hope that they would join together, opposition, new candidates who are trying to come in, right? If they get in there, well, I hope for the best.
Sometimes you have to give the young ones a chance to see how they're going to improve in life, how they're going to bring the country.
One accountant and business advisor says the announcement that cruise ship passengers will no longer be restricted to a bubble, but will be allowed to roam freely augurs well for small businesses, especially those who depend heavily on the tourism sector. Due to Grenada's current epidemiological status, cruise ship passengers will no longer be restricted to a bubble that only allowed them to visit select areas. This was announced during Tuesday's post-cabinet press briefing. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Taisha Donald said all visitors should be allowed to enjoy the same privileges.
So we've decided that we no longer want to have any discrimination or distinction between the two. So for all tourists, whether you enter by sea or whether you enter by air, you are free to walk around and experience our attraction sites, our restaurants, and life in Grenada in general.
Managing partner at PKF and accountant Henry Joseph weighed in on this new development, indicating that there are many benefits to be derived from this move, especially for the small business community.
Well, I think it's a very positive move that the government made. It is no question that our numbers are coming down, and one would hope that they would continue to go down. So the fact that visitors would now be able to move about without any hindrance would certainly help, for example, the taxi drivers, the tourist vendors, the restaurants, and a whole host of persons who are dependent on their livelihood through earnings from the tourism sector.
However, he warns individuals to not get ahead of themselves as the tourism sector is still recovering from the pandemic.
Advertising is fine, right? But over-advertising may not necessarily bring better results. For example, only yesterday I was told that our hotel, for example, is getting a lot of tourists from out of the UK, all right, and Europe. But we're not getting many from the United States. I think that position is going to continue for a while. So I don't think, marketing would be of, any major benefit at this point in time.
He anticipates that there will be some improvement in the economy during the last quarter of 2022.
Tourism would not improve, in my view, until about October, November this year. We don't export a whole lot of agricultural products, but for whatever it is, again, I don't see any major moves. So it's going to continue to be tight, for a while. The economy is going to continue to be slow, but hopefully, come October, the last quarter of this year, that's when I really hope to see an improvement.
St. George's University plays a significant role in relation to Grenada's gross domestic product as well as its education sector. And according to Chancellor of the university, Dr. Charles Modica, they are committed to doing even more to help give young people more job opportunities going forward. Dr. Modica shared a few initiatives, including meeting with the U.S. ambassador to Grenada about providing linkages for companies in the U.S. to offer jobs and job training opportunities for Grenadians on the island. Donella Hosten has more in this report.
Chancellor of the St. George's University, Dr. Charles Modica, announced on Thursday morning that they will be expanding opportunities for Grenadian graduates through the expansion of jobs. According to him, they do recognize that there are many graduates who do not go into the medical field. The Chancellor noted that he will be meeting with the U.S. Ambassador to Grenada to discuss some initiatives regarding information technology companies that could provide job opportunities for Grenadians right here at home.
I'm pleased to tell you that I am willing to go to Washington next week, as we talked about, and meet the ambassador to the United States from Grenada and work in developing IT companies that should and could be here in Grenada. And the reason we can develop this relationship through the partnership we've always had is we have smart young people here. They have full scholarships, or 90% scholarships at worst, to go to undergraduate programs. We want to become an IT nation that allows for development of platforms here, coding and all the IT world terms and jobs that you can think of that are right here in Grenada, because we can teach people how to operate in those fields. We want to do it with some of the...
He says he is hopeful that this will come to fruition, as they will be working along with some of the big IT companies in the United States of America.
We can teach people how to operate in those fields. We want to do it with some of the people, some of the giants maybe in the United States, some of the smaller companies in the IT world. What we have to offer them, and what we will be as we start next week, is telling them that we can provide job training for people from this nation. They're highly qualified, they're smart, can give them a degree, up to 4 years of a degree, if that much is even needed in some of these jobs. So we will train them at no cost to your company. And after that, you will be able to have them as employees based in Grenada. They don't need to leave. These jobs and these companies have satellites right here in Grenada, staffed by people that they helped to train and that we worked hard to train.
He explained how these jobs would work.
We've basically offered these companies very high-level people at probably a third or half of the salary they would have had to give them in the United States, but still higher than the salaries here. So that we're in a good place for the economy of the nation.
Additionally, Chancellor Modica stated that they recognize that there is a need to develop other aspects within their undergraduate school, such as tourism, to fit the needs of the market. Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Hosted.
Since the recent announcement of the $30 million grant given to the government of Grenada by St. George's University, the question of what this money will be used for remains unanswered. Numerous suggestions were given by senators and other political affiliates to use some of the funds to help with the development of the country's health and education systems. However, no confirmation has yet been given by the relevant authorities. And according to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, he does not make these decisions on his own. He says this is something that has to be discussed with his cabinet.
But you ask me about any other areas, I would not be wise for me to tell you, because I have a cabinet, and it would not be wise for me to sit here and project just the areas I feel should be invested with not just this grant, but other savings of the government, which we have had based on all the fiscal responsibility we have undertaken, and to point out that the resources we have been getting from the international institution, because we have managed ourselves properly, they're going to be used in several areas, and the cabinet makes that final decision.
Additionally, Chancellor of SGU, Dr. Charles Modica, noted that although they have given the grant, they are not privileged to dictate what the government should do with the money received.
So there's a $30 million grant that has been awarded to the government of Grenada for you to see how to use best. And I know you will do it in the interest of the nation, but there was no need for the university to try to dictate to the government on what to do with that grant. In many cases, we might have gravitated towards only medical things, but the nation needs more than that. And your government will decide what to use it for and how quickly, but it's there for you.
For yet another year, leader of the Grenada Empowerment Movement and director of the GEM charitable organization, Earl Maitland, claims he is being treated unfairly and made to pay license and registration fees for his vehicle when the law states he should be exempted because the vehicle is used for charitable work. He claims that he followed the appropriate procedure when requesting the exemption for his vehicle. However, he is being made to pay again this year.
Now, last year was the first time that I had written to the Minister of Finance to allow that law to take its course, as it clearly applies to what Grenada Empowerment Movement charitable organization has been doing over the last 12 years. Time and time again, when MTV came to the scene of medical motorcades, we could clearly see that one vehicle has been on all medical motorcades island-wide. That vehicle has also been granted permission from the Royal Grenada Police Force to partake in motorcades.
Maitland is hoping for the matter to be resolved.
That there should be no bias when it comes to the law, especially laws as clear as it is. I would like to see persons who can afford to make the payments, but the law is there. The law is there. I would like to see the law take its course.
That's the first segment of news. More news after the break.
The first segment of MTV News was brought to you in association with GUT Cooperative Credit Union. It's where you belong.
In an effort to serve you better, GUT Credit Union has moved its Grandance branch from the Lamaki complex to the Excel Plaza. This new location provides more convenient parking with access from two entrances. The first is from the lower parking area and the second is at the top parking area on the same level as our office for easy walk-in access. Visit GUT Credit Union at our new location and experience the comfortable atmosphere with the enhanced member experience you have come to expect of us. Our Grandance office is open 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. We hope to see you soon. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
It will be a showdown between the Spice and the Reggae when the senior women's national team hosts Jamaica Reggae Girls on Sunday, February 20th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium in the CONCACAF Women's Qualifiers Road to Australia and New Zealand. Kickoff time 5 p.m. Get your early bird tickets now for just $20 at the GFA headquarters at the Queen's Spa. All COVID-19 protocols will be in full effect and patrons must be fully vaccinated to enter the venue. Grenada versus Jamaica, CONCACAF Women's Qualifiers, Sunday, February 20th, 5 p.m. The Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Come, let's support the Spice Girls.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on LaCroix Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit or call LaCroix Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. LaCroix Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs,
be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
No matter your beliefs, whatever your dreams, we all have one thing in common. We call these islands home. Beautiful Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. However, they are threatened by our actions. But we can collectively begin a new path in which our economic prosperity and well-being does not irreparably damage our islands. Let's use our natural resources in conscious and sustainable ways so that future generations too can enjoy our home. Let's care for our environment and keep it litter-free and beautiful. Let's all pledge to take action against climate change by changing our behavior and changing our lifestyles to protect our environment. Join us today and let's keep Grenada green and clean.
On Sunday, February 27th, Mega Force Promotions presents the 36th edition of Waggy Virtual Bingo. Purchase a ticket now for your chance to win US $10,000. Tickets cost only $10. Get yours today from numerous box offices island-wide in Grenada. If you're playing overseas, tickets are only available at gotofet.com. So, if you need cash now, remember, Sunday, February 27th, join the fun and excitement online. Play Waggy Virtual Bingo and win!
The second segment of MTV News is brought to you in association with the Communal Cooperative Credit Union. To grow with us, save with us.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Welcome back. As part of the United Kingdom's government's ongoing support to Grenada, a walk-through temperature scanner was handed over through the British High Commission in St. George. This scanner will be installed at one of the country's main ports of entry to provide reliable screening results for incoming travelers. We have more from Donald Hostin.
A walk-through temperature scanner has been donated to the Ministry of Health by the United Kingdom's government as part of some ongoing supporting initiatives. According to the resident British High Commissioner in St. George's, Wendy Freeman, this gift is something that the authorities have been calling for, and the UK government is happy to help.
So I'm very happy that this is a gift from the British government, the walk-through scanner, and it was something that Ministry of Health said they were really needed. And I think it's going to be put in use in one of the main ports of entry to help with the flow of people so they can just walk through and have their temperature taken without having to queue and have it. So it'll be a much more efficient flow of people arriving.
The British High Commission has helped in some other ways as well since the onset of COVID.
At the beginning, the UK, along with other countries, were facilitating the arrival of COVAX vaccines and funding the arrival of the COVAX vaccines last year. We had a bilateral donation of AstraZeneca vaccines as well last year, and also AstraZeneca, with the help of the Prince of Wales's office in London, AstraZeneca offered up some 15,000 consignment of face masks last year, which arrived. So I'm very happy that this is a gift from the British government.
Minister for Health Nicholas Steele said they are happy to have received this donation. He says the temperature scanner will be used at the Morris Bishop International Airport.
We're most grateful for a donation that we received from the UK government in the form of a walk-through temperature scanner. It's going to help us enhance our port surveillance, specifically at Morris Bishop International, as we move forward. While we do see the threat of this specific pandemic of COVID-19 being reduced as we move forward, we still need to maintain the ability to monitor, observe, especially at our ports of entry for future. And temperature is one of the indicators that are used in most cases. So this helps us significantly once it's set up at Morris Bishop International.
Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Hostin.
Members of the RGPF ITC department are participating in training in police records management information systems. Police records management systems enable law enforcement agencies to store, retrieve, retain, archive, and view information, records, or files about law enforcement operations.
So initially, we started with something called PIF, P-I-F, Police Incident Form, which was launched in 2019. We had an official launch up at the Parliament building, I think it was July of 2019. And then we had a pilot with PIF throughout our stations, throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martini. And PIF was basically a start-off as relates to where we want to go. It was basically an incident form to record incident. So with the advent of PIF comes Premise, which is a more detailed and more robust software-based platform to record incidents, as we call Premise.
Officers of the ITC Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force, Inspector Alan James and Woman Police Constable Sally Ann Moraine, discuss police records and management information systems, a digital platform the organization will be using to record incidents. Records management is critical for reporting crime, according to Inspector Allen, and training is ongoing in 3 different police stations.
Okay, so here the plan is, like I said, based on our manpower and the amount of trainers that we have, we thought it best to do pilot in 3 stations. So it more or less give us a better appreciation as to working with each and every officer at the various stations. So we started with 3 stations. So after the launch, the following week after the launch, we will be going to 3 other stations. And roughly, I would say 1 month will give us sufficient time to train the officers and do the pilot and allow them to use it right away. And the good thing about it is what you can get out of Premise. And I just want to point out that now there are 3 main objectives coming out of Premise for us. One is data collection. And data collection is very, very important for us as police officers, as law enforcement, but not just for law enforcement, but for in terms of national security and a standpoint. In terms of retrieving data in a timely, efficient manner, and not just data, but quality data that we will need. So Premise will allow us to accomplish that.
Constable Sally Ann explained how police record management information systems will benefit the public.
The program we started off, as the inspector said before, with PIF. Now, PIF was just where we were just recording incidents, and we would have seen that it would have only covered just a small part of what we do as police officers as it relates to solving crime. And with Premise, it will now give us the opportunity to be much more efficient as it relates to serving the public. Also, it will allow us to feed back to the public on the real-time basis and maximize our time within the field and really staying in office like this day within the stations as to find information. Premise give us an opportunity that we can interact more with the public on the outside.
Nikita Hostin, MTV News.
One club in St. George will be celebrating over 50 years of existence and has already begun hosting activities in commemoration of this milestone achievement, including the soon-to-be-launched inaugural essay competition in primary schools. The St. George's Leo Club will be celebrating its 52nd anniversary on February 25th and have already commenced activities in commemoration of this milestone under the theme 52 Years of Combating Global Challenges Through Community Service. According to Marketing and Communications Chairperson Kenika Wilson, they commenced the celebrations with a church service last Sunday, and on Saturday they will be hosting a Breakfast on Foot project where they will be distributing meals to the vulnerable and less fortunate in and around the town of St. George. There will also be a lecture on the menstrual cycle, and 2 individuals will be selected for pap smears. Wilson said prior to this year's celebrations, the pandemic affected their ability to host some of their activities and also affected their membership.
Membership and engagement has really declined in terms of completing activities because of the COVID protocols. We've been also limited. We've had to cancel a few activities because of the spike in COVID cases, especially last year.
As Grenada continues to experience further easement of the protocols, they will engage in a campaign drive to boost membership, including the execution of activities that they were unable to host due to the pandemic, Wilson said.
We will be engaging in a lot more activities than last year with there aren't many more COVID, if the COVID cases are minimal. We'll also be working on a membership drive, trying to encourage persons to join the club because our membership at this point is very small. We're active, but we're very small. So yes, that's one of the areas that we will be working on. And as much as possible, we will try our best to execute those activities.
She highlighted the many benefits to be derived from joining entities such as the Leo Club by young people who are aspiring to make a difference in today's society.
I would say it's extremely important because it helps to better our community. When young people are engaged in or organizations like the Leo Club, they tend to have a lot of personality development. They get strong moral values. They get to positively impact our society through community service as well. And overall, you become a well-rounded person. You learn, core values such as empathy, compassion, hard work, and how to be humble and to be kind and those things. And it very, I would say it correlates with our theme. We care. You learn to be caring and all those things. You learn to manage your time well. And these are qualities that we need in today.
The club will soon be launching its inaugural essay competition that will include participation from primary schools in St. George. The Grenada Informer salutes all our advertisers, readers, and well-wishers as we present you with another publication of our weekly online publication. We continue to wish you God's blessings and the very best of everything. In this week's issue, elderly man killed in Purs. Carrico farmer loses entire crop to animals. A possible case of fraud in St. John's. On the Sister Isles, new NNP office opened. 2 honored for exemplary work. Woman fighting for life after pinned under own vehicle, and much more. This is where we end the second segment of news. Regional highlights are up next.
The second segment of MTV News was brought to you in association with the Communal Cooperative Credit Union. To grow with us, save with us.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business.
For your education.
For your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
No matter your beliefs, whatever your dreams, we all have one thing in common. We call these islands home. Beautiful Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. However, they are threatened by our actions. But we can collectively begin a new path in which our economic prosperity and well-being does not irreparably damage our islands. Let's use our natural resources in conscious and sustainable ways so that future generations too can enjoy our home. Let's care for our environment and keep its litter-free and beautiful. Let's all pledge to take action against climate change by changing our behavior and changing our lifestyles to protect our environment. Join us today and let's keep Grenada green and clean.
Sunday, February 27th, Mega Force Promotions present the 36th edition of Waggy Team Virtual Bingo. Purchase a ticket now for your chance to win US $10,000. Tickets cost only $10. Get yours today from numerous box offices island-wide in Grenada. If you're playing overseas, tickets are only available at gotofed.com. So if you need cash now, remember, Sunday, February 27th, join the fun and excitement online. Play Waggy Team Virtual Bingo and win!
The third segment of MTV News is brought to you in association with Arizo Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
January 1947 saw the dawn of a new day, the birth of the Grenada Civil Service Credit Union, later renamed the Grenada Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited, and more recently, Arizo. Arizo is extremely proud to be celebrating this significant milestone. But this would not have been possible without you. And this is why we are inviting you to celebrate with us as we celebrate 75 years of transforming lives. Stay tuned to our social media platforms and our local media houses to learn more of the activities and events that we have in store for you. As we celebrate this journey, we thank all our stalwarts for their valued contributions in bringing us to where we are today. We look forward to serving you for many more years. Let's celebrate 75 years of transforming lives.
Time now for this evening's regional roundup with Tonia St. Louis Lawrence.
With this evening's regional roundup, I am Tonia St. Louis Lawrence. The International Criminal Court and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees are being asked to support investigations into the February 5th shooting death of a 1-year-old baby by the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. In a story carried by Venezuelan news site Tal Call Digital, President of the National Assembly elected in 2015, Juan Guaido, denounced the Trinidad and Tobago government for repeated mistreatment of Venezuelans. He called on the Trinidad Public Ministry to investigate the case, noting he has asked the International Criminal Court and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees to support the investigation. According to the Venezuelan news site, Guaido held a press conference conference to speak about the tragedy which unfolded on high seas as the migrants were illegally attempting to enter Trinidad. He said, and I quote, "We are going to denounce Trinidad and Tobago for repeated mistreatment of Venezuelan migrants, not just to shoot them, deny them documentation, deport them, block entry, generating shipwrecks," unquote. Still with news from Trinidad, the island slowly returned to normal activities on Thursday after an electricity blackout lasting more than 12 hours. The blackout reportedly water shortages, traffic gridlock, early closure of businesses, and inconvenienced users of mobile and land telecommunication devices. The Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Corporation, TNTEC, apologized for the disruption that began at 12:50 p.m. on Wednesday and said that it was due to a major disturbance on the system. The sister isle of Tobago was not affected by the power blackout. TNTEC's general manager, Kelvin Ramsuk, said the fault was detected, and while they were able to identify the location of the fault, they were still investigating the reason for it. Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip Pear, is using his own COVID-19 infection experience to encourage the unvaccinated members of the public to get inoculated. The Prime Minister, who recently tested positive, emerged from isolation to return to work this week. The Prime Minister is attributing his lack of symptoms and quick recovery to being vaccinated.
The COVID virus is a very new virus. No one seems to know exactly what happens. But I can tell you from my own experience and from the experience of people who I know were not vaccinated, the side effects for me were almost non-existent. So I still want to tell people to continue following, getting vaccinated, and continue following the public health protocols. I think that's the best thing to do, and I'm a living example of why it is the best thing to do.
Finally, in the region, at least 94 people have been killed in mudslides and floods that tore through a mountainous region of Brazil's Rio de Janeiro state. More in this Al Jazeera report.
After the sudden and unexpected storm, the surge for missing bodies. Emerson Torres said he was able to pull out his mother and one girl before the mud avalanche hit his bar.
Everything fell at once. I never thought I would see something like this.
Hilda lost a niece and her niece's daughter. She's still looking for both and has lost hope.
Yesterday, a man was found alive in the debris. The firefighters pulled him out today in the morning and he was dead. I can't cope with this anymore.
Carla Simões says she's come to pick up clothes and food to take to the shelter where she's sleeping. But like many, she has not yet come to terms with her loss.
I cannot go back to my house because it's unsafe. I lost a niece in the mudslide, but many have lost so much more.
The number of deaths has been growing by the hour after Tuesday's unexpected rainfall. 230 millimeters of rain in 3 hours, the same amount expected for the whole month. It submerged streets and destroyed houses and vehicles.
That's it for this evening's Regional Roundup. I am Tonya St. Louis Lawrence.
This is the MTV Evening News. More news after the break.
The third segment of MTV News was brought to you in association with Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
January 1947 saw the dawn of a new day, the birth of the Grenada Civil Service Credit Union, later renamed the Grenada Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited, and more recently, Ariza. Ariza is extremely proud to be celebrating this significant milestone. But this would not have been possible without you. And this is why we are inviting you to celebrate with us as we celebrate 75 years of transforming lives. Stay tuned to our social media platforms and our local media houses to learn more of the activities and events that we have in store for you. As we celebrate this journey, we thank all our stalwarts for their valued contributions in bringing us to where we are today. We look forward to serving you for many more years. Let's celebrate 75 years of transforming lives.
You watching the MTV Evening News Sporting Highlights are up next.
There is something new to the classic Wester Hall rum look. Wester Hall Estate Rum. What's your number? Drink responsibly.
Introducing the Grenlec mobile app. You can now get your bill balance and easily track energy usage for your home or business. Report and receive alerts about power outages. Plus, stay up to date by receiving the latest notifications. Yes, the Grenlec app keeps you connected anytime, anywhere.
Spring water is a water for every occasion. On the field of sports, at your workplace, just open the bottle and savor the pure, refreshing taste. Holy Natural Spring Water is produced in Mama Can St. Andrews and is available in all sizes nationwide. To order, telephone 444-7654 or 533-7654. Holy Natural Spring Water, Grenada's purest bottled water.
Coming up in sports, a disappointing start for Spice Girls in CONCACAF Women's Qualifiers match. Stay with us.
It will be a showdown between the Spice and the Reggae when the senior women's national team hosts Jamaica Reggae Girls on Sunday, February 20th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium in the CONCACAF Women's Qualifiers Road to Australia and New Zealand. Kickoff time 5 p.m. Get your early bird tickets now for just $20 at the GFA headquarters at the Queen's Park. All COVID-19 protocols will be in full effect and patrons must be fully vaccinated to enter the venue. Grenada versus Jamaica, CONCACAF Women's Qualifiers, Sunday, February 20th, 5 p.m. The Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Come, let's support the Spice Girls.
My name is Hollis Map. I perform around the world. And when I travel, I book with CaribJet.
Call CaribJet now. 100% Canadian, operating 10 years plus.
Telephone number 439-4444 in Grenada or click caribjet.com. CaribJet, True Blue St. George's, the number one for travel.
Time now for this evening's sporting highlights.
Good evening, sporting fans. It was a disappointing start for the Spice Girls. Grenada was beaten by the Dominican Republic 9-0 on Wednesday night. In the first half of the game, the Dominican Republic led Grenada 4-0. The player of the match went to Connie John of Grenada. John had 6 important saves, avoiding the goal-scoring highest. Attacker Ronisha Frank was referred to as the most dangerous player on the team. The next match for Team Grenada will be against Jamaica at the National Stadium at 5 p.m. on Sunday. Media officer at the Grenada Football Association is Rhea Murray.
You know what I saw out there in the game. I saw passion. I saw that they didn't give up. They were moving the ball around well. But, you know, it was a lot of defense, and it just seems that the team needs to work on their attack and gain more confidence in attacking and scoring goals. And I would also like to say it's all about development. So many people may look at the score and just the score, but I'm looking at development because, as we say, a lump of coal has to go through a lot of pressure before becoming a diamond. So that is how I would like to think of the team.
The St. Andrew Basketball Fraternity is currently witnessing the rebirth of basketball and is doing its part to revitalize the sport in the parish. That is according to Timon Thomas, Media and Communication Director of the organization. The organization seeks to develop young people through the sport of basketball holistically and also give back to the community through various initiatives. Training programs for individuals between the age of 5 to 17 have already been established. Thomas speaks of the plans for the parish, including the Inter-Village tournament.
In May of this year, that is when we're going to be hosting the Inter-Village basketball tournament, and we are looking forward to the teams competing against each other, and we are hoping that that would spark another decade of really good basketball in St. Andrews. So that is what we are engaging right now in as the St. Andrews Basketball Fraternity, and we are excited to welcome any partners on board, any sponsors, anyone who wishes to support this initiative. We are welcoming you on board, and we hope that you would be able to benefit from the fact that you've given to basketball in St. Andrews. If teams wish to register for this tournament, the Inter-Village Basketball Tournament, you can reach out to Dwight Gibbs and Gerard Sincere. They are the 2 people on the ground that are currently accepting registration forms from teams. So I would encourage you to get your teams ready, register your teams today, and so that we can have a successful tournament come May.
Grenadian Aline Francique, professional coach who holds a master's degree in sports ethics and integrity, is currently training Olympics athletes in Grenada for 6 weeks. Francique says the athletes are being exposed to different surfaces and terrains. Training takes place on hills and beaches and other areas across the country. American track and field sprinter Fred Curley is being coached by Francique on the island.
So the difference overseas, we get to train on that, so it's a pretty good, and we just wanted to get away for 6 weeks, and I thought Grenada would be a great place to bring him since I'm so familiar with the country, and plus he been here in 2019 and we went on to Doha and he got bronze in the 400, so I say why not come back? If you don't break, don't fix it. So come back to get some good training for the World Championships later on this year.
Just share a little bit more information for us on... Curley spoke about his experience training in the country so far.
I'm very comfortable with the facilities and what Grenada had to offer me. Peaceful, quiet, and I can get focused to get ready for World Championship, even USAs and stuff, or I can bring home the gold medals. Francique is he is the greatest coach out there for me. So it's just basically he working on my mechanics and stuff, and why not him? So it's just basically he gave me the opportunity to come back with him to train with him and get the right tools. I got a silver medal at the last Olympic, a bronze medal at the World Championship in 2019. My ultimate goal this year is bring back 2 gold medals for him and for myself.
Another athlete here on island is Michael Cedinho, Trinidadian professional 400-meter athlete who is coached by Albert Joseph, a Grenadian coach. They both spoke of their experience and the process thus far.
So basically practice at 9, and then sometimes we may do gym, or sometimes we may have runs on the grass in the afternoon, or sometimes we rest. I'm preparing for the World Championships in August. That will be held in Oregon. Yeah, that's the 400 and the 4x4. I'm feeling pretty good. Grenada have good food. That's where you get like a lot of ground provision, and so my diet here is a lot better than than in the US. So body wise I'm good. I'm healthy. The therapists here in Grenada, they're exceptionally well. Coaching wise is good. So I'm feeling pretty good and confident.
Yeah, back when he was a junior, he was Carifta. One of the coaches that were working with him contacted me to help with his training program. So between 2011 and 2013, he was coming to Grenada on and off to train with me. Soon after that, he won World Juniors, and then he went to the States to train, and now he has decided to come back and spend at least a year here training with us.
Get Grenada Swimming Now has a goal to certify 100 professional swim instructors in the next 5 years. They are partnering with the Seventh-day Adventist Church to provide lessons on Sundays and a pilot program launched in Fontenoy where instructors are being trained so they can start the swim program in April. If all goes well, all 5 locations will be opened this year. And that's it for this evening's sports. I am Donala Hostin.
That's the sports, the weather, and a recap of the headlines after the break.
MTV Weather is brought to you in association with Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Each of us has a role in Grenada's successful recovery. We have the will to overcome. We are strong. Together, we are Grenada.
Good Thursday evening views once again with the nighttime weather forecast and meteorologist Wayne Williams. Mostly sunny and windy conditions throughout the Eastern Caribbean today, but the Northern Islands did see a bit of scattered showers from an area of residual cloudiness in that area. The haze has eased a bit, but we're going to see it returning by Saturday. Still is going to be a bit slight, much denser haze further east. Just a few patches of low-level moisture, a little bit of activity in it. Slight showers are in the forecast for later on tonight. Taking a closer look, we can see that area of low-level moisture manifesting itself in the scattered cloudiness approaching the islands. It's going to bring us some showers tonight, more over the northern islands, however, but one or two would affect us here, mostly in the interior and during the mid to the latter part of the night. The forecast for Thursday night is for brief showers with northeasterly winds blowing between 10 and 20 miles per hour. Minimum temperature of 24, 6% chance of those showers occurring. Lots of moonlight enjoy. The moon rose at 7:18 a short while ago, and it's going to set at 7:54 in the morning. Some brief scattered showers are possible throughout the day on Friday. Northeasterly winds 12 to 28 miles per hour with choppy seas and 6 to 8 foot waves. Sunrise at 6:27, sunset 6:14. Despite the chance of the showers, temperature will still climb to around 34 and feel like 38. Scattered showers with haze and gusty winds in Port of Spain. Showers are going to be a bit fewer in Bridgetown. They're going to be isolated. Fair conditions in Kingston, partly cloudy for Miami and New York. Light rain in London. Back here at home, there's a chance of some showers on Saturday and Sunday. About a 50% chance of that happening with temperature around 32. Variable cloudy conditions from Monday onwards, improving from around the middle of the week towards the next weekend. That's it for Thursday night, folks. Have yourself a great night. Join me again on Friday.
MTV Weather was brought to you in association with Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Now to end the news, a recap of the headlines. Catholic bishop calls on religious leaders to play a more active role on the community level. Mixed reaction from the public on the first 7 candidates announced by the National Democratic Congress. Cabinet to discuss how $30 million grant given to government will be spent. And in sports, disappointing start for Spice Girls in CONCACAF Women's Qualifiers match. On behalf of the news and production departments, I am Troy Gill. Thank you for watching. Good night.
I take the vaccine and I could feel a sense of freedom. I just have to continue the right COVID protocols and I'm ready for life. You telling me you're afraid of what they're putting into you? Some of all you have metal filling in all your mouth for over 30 years and nothing can change? Or you're still ugly? You worried about a vaccine that could save your life if you catch COVID? All that food with them chemicals and hormones all you eating every day. All you know what going in all your body? And you worried about a vaccine that could protect your children and your family? All you're joking, man. The amount of vaccine we take when we were children, and look at us today, 30, 40, 50 years later. And you telling me you don't want to take a vaccine to protect your friends, your community, and your country, and get life back to normal in this pandemic? Nah, man. All you're joking. Think about it, my fellow Grenadians, Carriacouans, and Petit Matnicans. Really think about it.
This message is brought to you by the Grenada COVID Crisis Group and the Grenadians United in Virginia.
I'm a winner, you are winner, we are winners, winners.
It's the big one. Grenada, imagine winning $25,000 and up to 6 times by scratching just one little ticket. Get your triple cash scratch tickets for a chance to live your best life. Win easy with Scratch. For just $3, match any of your numbers to any of the winning numbers and win the prize shown for that number. Reveal a money bag symbol and win the prize instantly. Triple cash scratch in stores now. Must be 18 or older to play.
Cause I'm a winner. From the moment that I get up, I feel right.
Good evening, viewers and listeners. Welcome to the National Lottery Authority's Daily Pick 3 evening draw for today, Thursday, the 17th of February, 2022. I'm Lexanne Fletcher and I'll be your draw hostess for this evening. I've got Ms. Giselle Alexander standing in with me. She's representing PKF Accountants and Business Advisors. She's here to ensure the games for this evening are conducted in a fair and accountable manner, that the game balls have not been tampered with and are within industry standards. Well, don't forget, with the Pick 3 game, you can bet as little as $1 on inline, mix, and pair tickets, and from $2 on backup tickets. Let's find out what the winning numbers will be for this evening. It pays to play. Good luck. If you have your tickets, check them now. First number. Yes, first number 5. Second number 1. Third and final. Third and final is 6. Let's do a quick recap. First number was 5. Second number 1. Third and final was 6. Congratulations if you're a winner this evening, and we hope you got your tickets for the Playway draw. That comes up next. We'll see you then.
I'm a winner, you are winner, we are winners, winners, winners.
It's the big one. Grenada, imagine winning $25,000 and up to 6 times by scratching just one lotto ticket. Get your triple cash scratch tickets for a chance to live your best life. Win easy with Scratch. For just $3, match any of your numbers to any of the winning numbers and win the prize shown for that number. Reveal a money bag symbol and win the prize instantly. Triple cash scratch in stores now. Must be 18 or older to play.
'Cause I'm a winner. From the moment that I get up, I'm feeling right.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. It's time for the Playway Draw for this evening, Thursday, the 17th of February, 2022. Just to remind you, I've got Miss Giselle Alexander standing in with me. She's representing PKF Accountants and Business Advisors. Now, don't forget, with the Playway game, all you got to do is bet as little as $1 up to $10 on increments on any number or dream symbol of your choice, and get to win 24 times the amount you bet. That's $24 for every dollar spent. Let's find out what the winning Playway number will be for this evening. Value your dreams, win your way with Playway. Good luck. And the winning Playway number for this evening is... This evening's winning Playway numbers are number 28. That's 2828. The dream symbol is boat. Just repeat, tonight's winning Playway number 28, 2828, the dream symbol, boat. Congratulations if you're a winner this evening. And don't forget, up next is a cash for a draw, so get your tickets out and we'll see you then.
Win more with the NLA's Daily Cash 4 every day with more plays and bigger prizes to be won. It's a 4-digit game with all the bet types you already know and much, much more. From 0000 to 9999. Choose your 4 numbers and place your bet from 11 different bet types. Choose from inline, 4 different mixes, first 3, last 3, and 4 different backup options too. Best of all, it starts at just $1, except for backups, which starts at $2. Win as much as $5,000 with a $1 inline bet and as much as $6,200 in a $2 backup bet. Imagine $50,000 for a winning $10 inline bet. There's definitely more to win with the Daily Cash 4. More plays, bigger prizes, twice per day, Mondays to Saturdays. Must be 18 and over to participate. NLA, making your dreams come true while supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Welcome back once again. It's time for the National Lottery Authority's Daily Cash for a Draw for this evening, Thursday, the 17th of February, 2022. Ms. Giselle Alexander is standing in with me once again. She's representing PKF Accountants and Business Advisors. And don't forget, with the Cash for a game, you can bet as little as $1 on most of the bet types with the exception of backup, in which case you bet $2. All right, it's time to reveal the winning numbers for this evening. It's more plays, bigger prizes. Good luck. And the first number up is 1, second number 1, third number 3, and the final number 9. All right, let's do a quick recap. Numbers on the screen, double check those tickets. First number was 1, second number 1, third number was 3, and the fourth and final was 9. But if you're a winner this evening, congratulations to you. Have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to go on there tomorrow, of course, God's will, and do get your tickets and continue to support sports, culture, and nation building. Have a good night.
Win more with the NLA's Daily Cash 4 every day with more plays and bigger prizes to be won. It's a 4-digit game with all the bet types you already know and much, much more. From 0000 to 9999. Choose your 4 numbers and place your bet from 11 different bet types. Choose from inline, 4 different mixes, first 3, last 3, and 4 different backup options too. Best of all, it starts at just $1, except for backups, which starts at $2. Win as much as $5,000 with a $1 inline bet and as much as $6,200 in a $2 backup bet. Imagine $50,000 for a winning $10 inline bet. There's definitely more to win with the Daily Cash 4. More plays, bigger prizes. Twice per day, Mondays to Saturdays. Must be 18 and over to participate. NLA, making your dreams come true while supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
I'm a winner, you are winner, we are winners, winners, winners.
It's the big one. Grenada, imagine winning $25,000 and up to 6 times by scratching just one lotto ticket. Get your triple cash scratch tickets for a chance to live your best life. Win easy with Scratch. For just $3, match any of your numbers to any of the winning numbers and win the prize shown for that number. Reveal a money bag symbol and win the prize instantly. Triple cash scratch. In stores now. Must be 18 or older to play.
Cause I'm a winner. From the moment that I get up, I'm feeling right.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on LaCour Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit or call LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
Alban Chase, also known as Daddy Banu and Grandpa, of Beaulieu St. George, passed away on Friday 28th January 2022 at the age of 93. He was the father of Patsy Crawford, Peter, Reverend Philip Chase, Cephas, Richard, Errol, Veronica and Johnson, both residing in Canada, David and Rebecca Chase John, both residing in the USA. Brother of Alberta Charles and Michael Chase, both residing in Trinidad. Grandfather of 23, great-grandfather of 20, great-great-grandfather of 4, brother-in-law of Mary Williams and Phyllis Chase, father-in-law of Earl Crawford, Cecilia, Sandra, Sally Ann, and Melissa. Many nieces and nephews. Other relatives and friends including Rosalind and Jennifer Williams, Joanna Chase, the Simpson, Worrell, and Chase families residing in Trinidad, the Daniel family of Windham, the LeBarry family of Beaulieu, the Chase family of Grandance, Victoria, Bylands, and in Carriacou, the John and Frederick families of Bellevue and Montrose, the Johnson family of Willis, the Patrick family of Grandmall, Reverend and Sister Aline, members of the Latter Rain Revival Pentecostal Church of Tempe, including Brother and Sister Murray, members of the Grenada Seamen and Waterfront Workers Union, members of the Grenada Ports Authority, Superintendent of Police Esau Pear of the Royal Grenada Police Force, Sergeant Anthony Pear of the Grenada Coast Guard, Dr. Roxanne Ned and family,
The doctors and nurses of the Snug Corner Medical Station and the General Hospital, including Dr. Charles, Dr. Migwen and Dr. Noel, and friends and neighbors of Beaulieu, Willis and New Hampshire, including the Telesford, Murrell and Phillip families. The funeral service and interment of the late Alban Chase, also known as Daddy Banu and Grandpa, of Beaulieu St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Anthony Laguerre of La Fortune, who resided at Cooper's Hill and H.A. Blair Street, St. George's, an employee of George F. Huggins and assistant jeweler at Laguerre's Jewelry, passed away on Monday 17th January 2022 at the age of 61. Left to mourn are his children Anthony John, Dorian Thomas, also known as Domain, Sophia Skeet, Kevin Campbell, and Cameron Filbert. Brothers Livingston Laguerre, Matthew Barry and Donald Mitchell in the USA, Winston Mitchell and Eris Mitchell. Aunt Irene Charles in the USA. Grandchildren Jared and Ethan Skeet, Deanna Entwine, Anton Lawrence and Caden Filbert. Sisters-in-law Camille Francis, Denise Mitchell and Emma Barry. Many nieces and nephews including Anthony, Antonio, Evelyn, Rosalind, Donnellan and Charlene Barry, Kendon Clement, Toria George, Cordell and Cameru Francis, Anon, Andon, Donna and Marsha Mitchell, and Denon Lessie. Other relatives and friends including Jason Lessie, Kanisha Rennie, Donnellan Francis, the Laguerre families of St. Andrew and St. David, the Charles and Beggs families in the USA, the Robertson, Brown, Scott and Andrews families of Sautez, the Skeet family of Cooper's Hill, in Canada, Trinidad and the USA, the management and staff of George F. Huggins, staff of the Oncology Ward at the General Hospital, the guys by Roach's Bar in the Market Square, and Lynnett's Bar at Lucas Street, and neighbours of Cooper's Hill, H.A. Blair Street, the Carenage, the Villa and surrounding areas. The funeral service and interment of the late Anthony Laguerre of La Fortune, who resided at Cooper's Hill and at H.A. Blair Street, St. George's, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Peter John Joseph, also known as Spirit, of Belmont Carriacou, who resided in the USA, passed away on Saturday 15th January 2022 at the age of 56. He was the son of Evina Waldron in Tobago and Alban Lambert in the United Kingdom, husband of Loretta Joseph, father of Akani, John Jr. and Christopher, brother of Agnes Joseph, also known as Dindin, Nadine, Joan, Prudence, Erlin, Keone, Samantha, Wayne, Kevin, Roger, Alan and Ashton, brother-in-law of 3, son-in-law of Frank and Rose, uncle of many, nephew of Jermaine Joseph in the USA, close cousin of many including Janice Joseph, Nimrod John, Ken Alexander and Mr. B. Many other relatives and friends including the Joseph, Lambert, John and Cajo families in Carriacou, England, Trinidad and the USA. The funeral of the late Peter John Joseph, also known as Spirit, of Belmont Carriacou, who resided in the USA, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Emery Anthony Frederick, also known as Brigo, of Grand Bacalet, who resided at Café Crochu St. Andrew, passed away on Friday 4th February 2022 at the age of 91. He was the father of Annette Mayo, grandfather of Grace Jordan, Kelly Caliste, Molly Caliste and their families, uncle of Jocelyn Robertson, Venita Braffett, Venice Peters, Vera Peters and their families, and the Lalsey family of Grand Bacalet, stepfather of Agnes James and Denise George, stepfather-in-law of Catherine Alexander, step-grandfather of Merrill Telesford, Beverly Pursue, Marcel, Chanel, Ellen, Ishmael, Kent and Antonia. Many other relatives and friends including the Panchu family of Tivoli and Mirabeau, the Mason family, Leon Bola, and friends and neighbors of Café, Crochu, Grand Bacalet, Kuma and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Emery Anthony Frederick, also known as Brigo, of Grand Bacalet, who resided at Café Crochet St. Andrew, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Cecil Harris, also known as Harrow, of Montmort St. George, a World War II veteran, passed away on Friday, 11th February 2022, at the age of 95. He was the father of Carl Harris, Ada Harris, Lydia Harris, MBE, and Vivian Harris, grandfather of 18, great-grandfather of 24, great-great-grandfather of 2, father-in-law of Angelina Harris and Nicholas Harris, brother of George, Freddie, and Louisa Harris, brother-in-law of Lemuel and Orford Edwards and Urban Nichols. Several nieces and nephews, other relatives and friends, including the Edwards, Harris, and Dowden families of Montmoritz, the President, Mrs. Lauren E. Gray Belayev, MBE, and members of the Grenada Legion of the Royal Commonwealth Ex-Servicemen League, Dr. Jude Entwine, Yoland Lawrence and family of Trinidad, Glenda Seals, Alan Medford and members of the Montmoritz Seventh-day Adventist Church, and friends and neighbours of Montmoritz. The funeral of the late Cecil Harris, also known as Harrow, of Montmoritz St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Anthony Felix, also known as Tony, of Harvard Village St. Andrew, past teacher of St. Mary's RC, retired principal of Tivoli RC, extraordinary minister of the Eucharist, Cursalister and founding member of the Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, passed away on Thursday, 13th January 2022, at the age of 71. He was the husband of Agnes Felix, father of Randy in England, Leron in Texas, and Rodon in Grenada, grandfather of Shamar, Lamari, and Cadence, brother of Joycelyn Pear, Margaret James in Grenada, Dr. Edwin Felix in Texas, Maria Felix Julian, Yvette Felix, Agnes Sturdevan, and Sarah Felix Turler in Canada, father-in-law of Nadia Noel, Mariev, and Nisha Marast, uncle of many including Coffee, Dylan, Shakira, Rosie, Nixon, Melissa, and Samantha, grand and great-grandfather of many, brother-in-law of Bernard Shaka James, Victor Pear, Jude Manwaring, Stephen, Rudy, and Scylla Felix and Rita Marast. Many other relatives and friends including Daphne Benjamin, Father Leroy Hopkin, Dr. Earlene Thomas, Rolda Courtney, Glennis Hall, Weston Aline, Joseph Noel, the Benjamin, Peters, Felix, and Gill families, and friends and neighbours of Harford's Village and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Anthony Felix, also known as Tony, of Harford Village St. Andrew, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Teresa Cynthia Andrews, also known as Cynthia Andrews, or Miss Cynthia, of Thebaid St. David, passed away on Tuesday, 8th February 2022, at the age of 88. Left to Mona her children Diane, Derek, Carol, and Denzel, siblings Lester James, Mary James Peterson in the USA, and Anne Ogilvy, mother-in-law of Wallace, Magna, and Delia, sister-in-law of Daphne and Eugene, brothers-in-law Lennox and Walter, grandmother of 17, great-grandmother of 16, aunt of many other relatives and friends including Rita Thomas and family, Doreen and Francis Bain, Eliza Murray and family, Anne Noel and family, Jacinta Reuben and family, the James family of Mount Annan, the Andrews family, the Rayburn and Ferguson families of Sans-Souci, the Purcell family in New York, the Lett family, Sheila Telesford and family, the George, Francis, and Livingston families of Thebaid, and neighbours and friends of Thebaid, St. David, and surrounding areas. The funeral service and interment of the late Teresa Cynthia Andrews, also known as Cynthia Andrews or Miss Cynthia, of Thebaid St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Jervis Stedman Julian, also known as Papa Yo and Blacks, of Woodford, St. John, former employee of the General Hospital, passed away on Tuesday, 1st February 2022, at the age of 63. He was the father of Gracelyn, grandfather of Joshua, Jonathan, and Jordan in Trinidad, brother of Kenny, James, Sean, Randy, Lynette, Greaslyn, Joylyn, and Sandra, nephew of Carmen, uncle of Vonnie, Devore, Kevin, Rakisha, Sherwin, Kieron, Dwight, Zaina, Kadisha, Aaliyah, Elisha, Akira, Shakira, and Kadeem, brother-in-law of Fitzroy, Kathy-Ann, and Loretta. Many other relatives and friends including Phyllis, Sylvia, Marva, Anne-Marie, Stephanie, Miller, Ralph, Lucita, Julia, Edrica, Garvin, Annie Purcell, Inez Welch, Keith Haynes, the Julian, Philip, Lewis, Thomas, Joseph, and Wellington families, the grounds and housekeeping staff of the General Hospital, and friends and neighbours of Woodford and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Jervis Stedman Julian, also known as Papa Yo and Blacks, of Woodford, St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Anthony Jude McQueen, also known as Drix, of La Fortune St. Patrick and London, England, passed away on Tuesday, 1st February 2022, at the age of 85. He was the husband of Joan, father of Janice and Glynis in England, stepfather of Don and Desmond in England, and Selma in Grenada, brother of John McQueen, also known as Pallet, and Barbara Mann in Carriacou, grandfather of Stuart, Andre, Stephen, Camilla, Adrian, Simeon, Shakira, Eula, Charlene, Novelette, Rochelle, Darius, Rio, and Rhea, great-grandfather of Kiefer, Takara, Sherelle, Sheon, Amari, Rayleigh, Azel, Rion, Melody, Kamal, and Cameron, step-grandfather of Charisse, Jordan, Nathan, Kieran, Dion, and Derek, step-great-grandfather of Fall, father-in-law of Dennis, Valentine, Joyce, Audrey, Esther, and Alistair, brother-in-law of David, Kevin and Gabriel Andrews, Winifred and Ira in England, and Kate and the Andrews family. Other relatives and friends including Mr. and Mrs. Errol Sutherland, Kellen, Marlene, Joyce Monroe, Jean Alexander, Veronica Sylvan, Lucianne, Merlin Scott, Jean Lane, Clarice Matthew, Indira Pariag, Bernadette, Dennis Henry, Rose, Solomon, Andrea Cornwall and family, Mrs. Belforn, the Fullerton family, and friends and neighbours of Sauters, Madays, La Fortune St. Patrick, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Anthony Jude McQueen, also known as Drix, of La Fortune St. Patrick and London, England, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Dennis Thomas, also known as Tomo, of Blackbay St. John, passed away on Monday, 14th February 2022, at the age of 74. The funeral arrangements for the late Dennis Thomas, also known as Tomo, of Blackbay St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Nelsia Vincent of Richmond, Gramborough, and Felix Park Cottage, Crowshoe St. Andrew, passed away on Monday, 14th February, at the age of 87. The funeral of the late Nelsia Vincent of Richmond, Gramborough, and Felix Park Cottage, Crowshoe St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Ursula Antoine Nee Sandy of Happy Hill St. George, member of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, former principal of the St. George's Anglican Senior School, also known as Heinzie, and pastor emerita of the St. George's Bible Holiness Church, She transitioned to glory on Wednesday, February 9th, 2022, at the age of 75. The funeral arrangements of the late Ursula Antoine MBE of Happy Hill St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Thomas Newton, also known as Lack of Lasalle St. David, passed away on Monday, 14th February, at the age of 79. The funeral of the late Thomas Newton, also known as Lack of Lasalle St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Edward Williams, also known as App and Quash, of St. Paul's, St. George, passed away on Sunday, 13th February 2022, at the age of 80. The funeral arrangements for the late Edward Williams, also known as App and Quash, of St. Paul's, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Glenda Catherine Samuel Church of Loretto Grove, St. John, an employee of the Supreme Court Registry, died on Tuesday, 1st February 2022, at the age of 53. The funeral arrangements for the late Glenda Catherine Samuel Church of Loretto Grove, St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Delbert Bowler of Duquesne, St. Mark, passed away on Friday, 4th February 2022, at the age of 84. The funeral arrangements for the late Delbert Bowler of Duquesne, St. Mark, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Cecilia Roberts Thomas, also known as Mother James and Miss Cecile, of Boca St. George, who resided at Beaulieu and in the USA, transitioned in the USA on Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022, at the age of 101. The funeral arrangements for the late Cecilia Roberts Thomas, also known as Mother James and Miss Cecile of Boca St. George, who resided at Beaulieu and in the USA, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Annie Joyce Duncan of Old Wester Hall, St. George, passed away on Tuesday, 8th February 2022, at the age of 88. The funeral arrangements for the late Annie Joyce Duncan of Old Wester Hall, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Rupert Anthony Stafford passed away on Saturday, 22nd January 2022 in New York, at the age of 69. The funeral arrangements for the late Rupert Anthony Stafford will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Godfrey A.B. Alexander, also known as Natty, of Tempe St. George, a resident of Spice Residential Care, passed away on Sunday, January 30th, 2022, at the age of 69. The funeral arrangements for the late Godfrey A.B. Alexander, also known as Natty, of Tempe St. George, a resident of Spice Residential Care, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Curlin Bishop, also known as Bish, of the Bocas St. George, passed away on Thursday, 27th January 2022, at the age of 63. The funeral arrangements for the late Curlin Bishop, also known as Bish, of the Bocas St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Maclina Veronica George Nee Richards of Guelph St. John, who resided at Bonnet St. Mark, passed away on Saturday, 29th January at the age of 72. The funeral of the late Maclina Veronica George Nee Richards of Guelph St. John, who resided at Bonnet St. Mark, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Lyndon Decoto, also known as Trouble, Carwo and Compare, of Middle River Grove St. John, passed away on Thursday, January 20th, 2022, at the age of 55. The funeral arrangements for the late Lyndon Decoto, also known as Trouble, Kawo and Compare of Middle River Grove, St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacwa Brothers Funeral Homes.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thanks for watching.
Hi, my name is Bishop Daniel Moe, the Bishop of Jerusalem Spiritual Baptist Church. Jesus is quoting that if you believe in him, you shall live again. Those of you who have lost your loved ones, my special sympathy to you. God was declared, as Jesus spoke to Martha and Mary in the 11th chapter of St. John, quote from the 23rd